Hello and welcome to the latest Lukozer retro game review video, and for this one it is a bit of an Amiga classic. This is Jimmy White's Whirlwind Snooker, which was released in 1991 by Virgin Games and is the creation of Archer MacLean, who among other things gave us the two international karate games for Commodore 64. I'm pretty sure he did the Amiga versions as well, and obviously followed this one up with Archer MacLean's Pool. Anyway, let's get a one-player game underway, and my opponent is going to break off. Now, at the time this game came out, there were quite a number. He did just break off and miss every single red, didn't he? Yes, he did. Okay, well. Yeah, so at the time that this game came out, there were quite a few snooker and pool games out there. That changed with the release of this. Essentially, they all stopped coming along because they just had no chance of competing with this. The day this came out, it became the de facto snooker simulator, and it just killed off the competition. It was as if all the other software designers or game developers who were planning on doing a snooker game saw this and just said, we cannot compete with that. So that's how this came about, and that's why you just have not seen very many snooker games since. You certainly didn't see any for the Amiga after this. It's hardly surprising. It has everything covered. So select your shot power here. Obviously the further away from the cue ball, the harder you will hit it. This is to chalk the cue. If you don't do that, you will almost certainly end up miscuing. This is to put top spin on the ball. This one here is to take the shot. The cross there is where you will actually be striking the ball. So we'll put it there. You can put in a load of backspin, or you can put left or right hand side. This one, you can check the angle, so you'll know where you're going to hit the ball. If you right click on it, you then get the angle as to where it would bounce off the cushion if it didn't hit another ball. This one is to view the cue ball. If you've already selected on it, then it just rotates it around 360 or 180 degrees rather. This one just moves the cue left or right. You can also do it by holding down the left mouse button on the table and moving it side to side. You hold down the right mouse button, you get the zoom in and out. That puts us back onto the regular side. This changes the screen type, so you have this view or this view. I don't like that view much. The trouble is, when you're playing against the computer, it had a habit of changing it to that view, well, quite often. And we have the view angle up and down. That can also change how high you will or the angle that you actually strike the cue ball. So if you're going to play something like a billiards type shot, then you can do that. And if you click there, you get the plan view, so you get to see the table. Well, you keep clicking it, it goes through various angles, and the information which gives you the score. So the score obviously includes who needs snookers, who has the best break, the highest break that each player has got, and obviously the score, which is on display at all times. Anyway, as you can see, it is 4-zip to me. Now, although I do like playing snooker and I do like this game, I am utter crap at both the simulated version and the real thing. So don't expect any, you know, bloody Hurricane Higgins type shots from me. Now when you take the shot, if you hold down the button over it, it will follow the cue ball, and you'll see that I wonderfully put the ball into the corner pocket, which is my speciality. I do it almost all the time, and if I don't do it enough in this, I absolutely do it enough in Archer MacLean's pool, which I may review at a later date. Now I had an enormous amount of trouble trying to get this epoxy fucking thing to work. In the end, John Gage gave me a sort of helping hand to get it to work. Oh, I wonder what red I'll be playing for on this shot. But even then, it is unbelievably temperamental. This is the most unreliable disk image I've ever used. So if you like the game and you are, you know, wanting to give it a try, then, you know, by all means, but you know, don't expect it to be plain sailing. This game is a fucking pain in the arse to try and get to work. Right, so we put in a red, so we nominate a colour. I'll nominate the black because it's relatively close to a pocket. If I manage to pot red, black, red, that I think will equal the highest break I've ever scored in this game. I'm not joking. Alright, let's take a look. Black's gone down, look at that. Isn't that impressive? Who needs fucking, I don't know what his fucking name is. Who's that cunt who, you know, thinks he's great and sulks when he doesn't win? Ronnie O'Sullivan, that's it. Right, well obviously I played for the position here because yeah, what I will do is do one of those really poxy shots where it barely moves and nestle into the pack, but I've hit it probably way too hard. Yeah, way too hard. Alright, so let's see what old Tom will do with this. Now, graphically, I mean, graphically the game is fantastic, but I mean, just how fantastic does a game need to be when all it's showing is a green table with a load of different coloured balls on it? And yet, if we actually, I won't stop it just yet because this is too good a shot to miss up. It's dead straight almost. So actually, I have a horrible feeling this red is going to catch that red on the way. Well, we'll soon find out. Look at that, straight in. And once again, played to position. Oh, fucking hell. Right, anyway, so now what we'll do, right, there are some graphical effects if you leave the game for a bit. There you go, so you get the flies, or the simulation of the flies on your screen. And that's not all that happens. And then you get faces appearing on the balls. So it's not totally straight-laced. In fact, it's not remotely straight-laced. And well, let's cut to the chase. It has a reputation for being the de facto snooker game on the Amiga, and it's a reputation that is totally deserved. When it comes to any computerized snooker simulation, this is just vastly superior to anything out there. It's been superbly done. Jimmy White didn't just put his name to it, he was involved in the process of creating the game, so that Archer MacLean could be sure that when he was adding in like the abilities to put side spin and top spin and everything else, that the ball behaved as it should do. And yeah, he had Jimmy White there with him to test it out, and the work paid off because it's exactly spot on. That yellow looks like it's heading nowhere near a pocket. Oh, right, brown looks tempting. What else have we got around here? Fuck all. Right, okay, I think I know what brown I'll go for. Right, that looks okay. Really want it to go. Okay, so the brown's in, and didn't put anywhere near enough power into the shot, so I'm nowhere near the reds. Oh, have I been lucky? Blue snookering is, yeah, it's got me snookered on and quite a few other reds. Now, in case some of you are a bit worried, no, I am not going to play a full game during this review, because it will go on for a fucking age, especially if you are as shit at break building as I am. Now, I have a feeling I'm going to hit the yellow first. Let's see. Yes, I did. Only just, but yep, so that's a foul. So surely he will continue his shot, yep. So graphics are great. You know, there's nothing remarkable about them, but they don't need to be. They work really well. Sound, again, the sound is great. Again, it doesn't need to be anything fantastic, but let's face it, they do the job extremely well. They're not sampled or anything, but I mean, they do sound like you are playing, you know, an actual proper snooker game. And gameplay is just spot on. I mean, it gives you all the control that you could ever need, and it's just absolutely bang on, everything. So I can't fault it, and since I am a snooker fan, it just makes it even better. So what do I score it? I will score this, that was utter shite. I will score this 9.5 out of 10. So it is spot on, and well, okay, so we get some score information here at the moment. The best break is 8. So the best break of this match so far has been the ability to pot 2 fucking balls. Well, we'll see what, okay, he's going for the yellow. He's surely, okay, so surely he wasn't going for the pot. So he's gone from playing like shit to now pulling off shots like that, which means he'll probably miss this one. Once again, my powers of prediction are absolutely fantastic. So he's potted 3 balls, so in terms of the number of balls potted, he's done superbly well. But it's still not worth as much as my break of 8. Which is pretty pathetic. Right, I'm going to try some, this rather impossible... in case I pull it off, I'll tell you what I'm going to try and do now. I'm going to try and put this red between the blue and green and into the far pocket there, like so. Right, let's give this a shot. Oh, so close. Oh, there you go. So anyway, the only hesitation I have in recommending this game is what I was saying earlier, that it is easily the most temperamental and unreliable disk image I have ever had to use on WinUAE. So yeah, if you can get it to work, great, but don't think it's going to be easy, because most of the time it's going to crash every time you try and start a game. So even using the tip that John Gage gave me, which was simply to just put the compatibility slider onto best compatibility, but it seems as though what you need to do is take it every time you're going to start up WinUAE, load in your configuration, move the slider off of best compatibility, then put it back onto best compatibility, and then you have a slightly better chance of getting it to work. But I mean that, a slightly better chance. It's still not guaranteed. It's the 2 times it has worked for me have been when I've done that, but there have been several times when I have done that and it's not worked. So it's not for definite. Anyway, I've shown quite enough of my absolute shite snooker abilities, or lack thereof. So there you go. Not Archer MacLean's Paul, I nearly said there. Jimmy White's Whirlwind Snooker, 9.5 out of 10. Absolutely deserving of its status as the de facto snooker simulator. Nothing has come close to it since. In fact, since this game came out, there haven't been many snooker games that followed on afterwards, simply because the devs just knew that the best version had already been done, and they weren't going to be able to get anywhere near this level. We'll try this one last shot. Nowhere fucking near. There you go. So that brings this review to an end, and we will see you at the next one.